LoreWarrior Armour. Odin Scout Tank. Overview. Though slower than both the Asher and the Shamash, the Odin remains a staple of second-line forces thanks to its sophisticated sensor suite. Fully integrated with the communication and targeting systems, this sensor suite uses magnetic resonance, IR, and electromagnetic intercepts to develop a detailed picture of the area surrounding the tank to 150 meters, making the Odin an ideal vehicle for surveying cluttered terrain and identifying hidden enemy troops. Capabilities. Like many scout tanks, the Odin sacrifices armor for speed and equipment. Its 1.5 tons of ferrofibrous armor serve primarily to protect the crew and equipment from damage caused by collision during off-road movement and from enemy small arms fire, and do little to shield them from the heavier weaponry of mechs and other vehicles. Instead, the Odin relies on its speed to avoid damage. Powered by a lightweight fusion plant, the vehicle can attain speeds of up to 130 kph both on and off-road, but the need to avoid damage to the vehicle's suspension and the crew usually restricts off-road speeds to less than 90 kph. Turret-mounted dual pulse lasers provide a limited defense capability, trading range and mass for volume of fire, and increasing the Odin's crew's chance of hitting its intended target. Additional fire support is provided by a short-range missile pack. By using streak technology, this unit offers a longer range than regular SRMs and eliminates the wasted ammunition common to unguided ballistics. These weapons are under the command of the vehicle's gunner, who also commands the vehicle and operates the sensor suite. A nose-mounted small laser allows the driver to engage enemies in the front arc, while the gunner discourages pursuit. Deployment. Contrary to clan tradition, the two-man crew of an Odin often train together and serve as a team throughout their military career, a strategy required by the high level of teamwork needed to maneuver and fight while the small but sophisticated vehicle performs its work. Poor teamwork amongst Odin crews and the resulting poor quality of the intelligence they gathered led to the Jade Falcons suffering disastrous results in several engagements against Ghost Bear on the Bear World of Tokasha. Taking their cue from the Jade Falcon's miscalculation, other clans modified their training and deployment procedures to ensure an appropriate level of performance. In keeping with their traditionally extreme reaction to every situation, however, the Jade Falcons immediately relegated all vehicles to a training or support role. Not the best introduction, honestly I have to admit. It just sort of goes in and doesn't give you any kind of introduction. But this is another clan scout vehicle, so it's a 20-tonner, it's wheeled, it has a Fusion 140 power plant with a cruise of 86 and a flank of 130 kph. Its armour is compound 2110 ferrofibrous. Its armament is 2 Calibri Omega series medium pulse lasers, a single Series 1 extended range small laser, and 1 Pattern J2 Streak SRM2 launcher, manufactured by various groups. Its communication system is the consolidated BMR6, its targeting and tracking is the TR-TTS Mark II. Overall, translates into a cruise of 8 and a flank of 12, with 7 armour on the front, 6 on the sides, 4 on the rear, and 6 in the turret. The 2 pulse lasers are mounted in the turret, along with the Streak 2, and the ER Small is mounted in the body. It has 50 shots for the Streak, and it also has a active probe located in the body of the vehicle. I like this little thing with its big wheel at the back. This sort of tricycle design is a bit unusual. Again, very distinct art, makes it immediately obvious that the artwork is a clan vehicle rather than a sphere one. There's this kind of sort of retro sci-fi, sort of 80s sci-fi style there for it. I don't mind it. Matplog does some pretty good artwork for the different vehicles like this, and this is no exception. It is such an unusual design. I really like it, actually. It's one of those vehicles I'm kind of jealous that it's a clan design, because I'd love to see something like this on the Inner Sphere side. The little vehicle it's just kind of cute. Let's put it that way. I find it that way. It's cool. All of it kind of makes sense. You know, all the proportion of the weapons and get like that. It looks like a little tank that you could see sort of rumbling around, gathering intelligence and trying to get the hell away when it gets detected. Obviously, kind of thing that you could use in little independent sort of operations, where maybe you're doing some kind of counterintelligence, basically moving around trying to find enemy scout or reconnaissance vehicles like these, and trying to disable them to prevent them from getting back with information they may have obtained, or even being able to use them yourself as part of a star of vehicles that might be trying to achieve an objective by sort of reaching different locations on the board, for instance, to start gathering intel without being destroyed by the enemy or being detected. You know, doing a few rolls to maybe simulate you sort of moving carefully and whether the enemy are going to notice any obvious tracks you may have left, that kind of thing. So, yeah, not bad. I don't mind it. There's not really much else more to say about this. Unfortunately, the background information is a little bit slim, other than the fact that, yeah, it's compared to the Asher and Shamash, and that it's obviously used a lot by, apparently was used a lot by Jade Falcon, but not anymore, and the other clans seem to use them quite regularly. It's a shame, though, that obviously clan armoured vehicles only really turn up in TRO 3060, and then we're told retrospectively, oh yeah, there were vehicles. Don't worry, yeah, there were tanks that the clans used. We didn't really mention them originally because we just couldn't be bothered writing any of them or making any miniatures and stuff for a while after. So just take our word for it that yeah they were totally there during the invasion of the Inner Sphere, and that's why you can use them if you're playing a scenario that's any of the invader clans in the Inner Sphere. Oh yeah, they've got some of these tanks. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, because there are some really interesting and very deadly clan tank designs. And look at this, is a 20-tonner that's got 2 medium pulsers and a streak too, and an ER small. That's pretty good. And that is pretty powerful. Bear in mind, obviously, clan equipment is better overall as well. So the medium pulse lasers are going to do some good damage and reach out a little further. And yeah, all right, it's dead in a half-decent hit. A large laser punches straight through the vehicle, for instance, wherever it hits. A couple of mediums are going to kill it. But regardless, I mean, if this thing encounters another light vehicle, it's got a really good chance of doing a fair amount of damage to it itself. The 2 pulses and the streak 2 alone, I mean, that's quite nasty. So yeah, it's actually something I'd respect its capability for damage rather than treat it as a no mark. I suppose the only thing I can't see is the small laser, because it says it's front mounted in the body, but yeah, it's not there. Well, the only thing I can think is that it might be the little nodule underneath the SRM tube there at the bottom that you can see, possibly. Failing that, it's might just be some kind of little compartmental system that pops out when it's going to fire and then goes back into a little hidden section. So it isn't exposed while the vehicle's driving forward at high speed, you know, because you don't want the barrel hitting anything like rocks or that kind of thing, getting damaged. So yeah, that's just me. It's just me rambling on. Anyway, have a good one all. Thanks for listening again, as always, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.